Assalamu alaikum, fam. Hope you're doing well. So, this is for the young girls who maybe they have a weak iman, maybe they're still learning, maybe they have very strong iman, but they're being tempted, and maybe you're a non Muslim. All varieties can benefit from what I want to say to you. And that concerns the dangers of getting in cars with men whom you don't really know. Okay? And what I mean by this is you gotta really think before you get in the car. Is this guy a safe guy? Where's he gonna take me? Can I really trust him? What happens if he goes too fast? Have I told anyone where I'm going with this man? Now, I understand good Muslims know and understand you do not get in the car with someone who's not your mahram. You're not supposed to be doing that. But this will help as a reminder and an admonition for those who maybe are being tempted or have lost that fear and understanding. So hopefully this is a good reminder. There's some men who can pretend to be really, really nice to you at work. They're flirting with you and you're like trying to be good and they say, "Do you need a ride?" Some people are good, they will give you a ride. That doesn't mean you have super paranoia of everyone, but it does mean that you need to really know someone before you get in the car with them. And sometimes walking is better, right? I'm that type of person. I walk a lot, and I always have protection or my little one with me, and people, walk with me. I enjoy walking more, so I have a bit of a bias there. But even before I was Muslim, I would walk a lot, and people would ask to give me a ride, and I said, "Nah, I'm cool." And they're like, "Are you sure it's really far?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I got my headphones. I'll be alright." Because I like to walk and stuff like that. So I always had that in the back of my head of being careful of men. And it saved my life, I think, many times, especially as a kid. When I would be running around playing and some guy in cars like, "Where's your mom? Do you need a ride home?" Very highly suspicious. Now, you don't know if that guy is going to be driving. He leans his chair back. He could easily grab your head and pull you over, punch you, knock you out. He could do all manner of violence against you where you are trapped in a fast-moving vehicle. And some of them might hold you hostage and demand services from you against your will. Now, this bleeds into the fact about why you need to be more cautious and moral, and to not just believe every guy who smiles a lot and smells good. Okay? Because some men know that they can pressure a woman when they get her alone in a car. And even if you're being friendly and saying, "No, I don't want to. I don't really want to." He could say, "Oh, really, you bleep and bleep?" And then he could get angry and harm you and force you. Okay? And don't think that someone will always come to your aid. That's a big mistake a lot of people make. They think a Superman or someone's going to come and help them. That's an element of chivalry, which the feminist liberal atheists have really demonized. Male chivalry, where you come and rescue a damsel in distress. Now it's, you're an empowered woman, so do it yourself. They've manipulated how women can have both. Okay? And they've really browbeaten men to not want to step in. And now we have a culture where people will film something before actually doing anything. Okay? So you need to have in your mind, is it an inconvenience that I don't get this ride? And ask yourself, what's better for you? Safety or risking an inconvenience, right? You can walk somewhere, you can take, the bus is getting a little bit sketchy. Subways, geez, man. And even some Lyft drivers and Uber drivers, quite strange people, right? So, you want to be a responsible person and always have pepper spray. You want to have, I say Second Amendment rights, understand how to use it to protect yourself. And when you get in the car with a guy, you can put your phone on record and record the whole thing, right? You never know the different ways in which you can be safe in a situation. If you're late to work and you know your neighbor, you've known him for a while and he wants to give you a ride because you're late and you don't have money for a cab, whatever it is, you never know when a predator can take that opportunity to exercise his fantasy upon you. What's even more sad is how some women will get drunk, they'll meet dudes in the bar and go in the car with them and go to their apartments. This sort of reckless behavior that is romanticized by celebrities, musicians, and city liberals and atheists as well, who deny that, spiritual evil exists and that being boring by not being a drunkard, by staying home and being decent, that somehow, old-fashioned, primitive, and boring, and that it's more modern, posh, bourgeoisie, hip and smooth to engage in these risky behaviors. So please, understand there's a lot of risk when you're in a very fragile situation with a man. My mom taught me that if the guy you can see signs of him getting angsty, like he wants to pressure you, you say, oh, I gotta throw up, I don't feel good, because some guys care more about their car than they do about you. They're a predator. They don't want your throw up all over their car seat, so they'll pull over and let you open the door, and you need to have everything ready to jump out of the car, and you need to be able to book it. This is why high heels are an extremely stupid shoe. Where the hoochie mamas, you think you look really sexy in your high heels, and you think you're going to be able to kick a dude like in the movies with them on, but in reality, if you need to jump out of the car, you can break your own ankle. It could snap, and then when you're trying to run through the woods or run on the road, you're going to cut your own feet up. Sneakers, these are things that will help you to dodge a situation like that. Okay? Please be wise and sit down and ask yourself what is wise. And don't let somebody pressure you into putting yourself in a situation where you could be held hostage, you could be harmed in the back seat, you'll have to perform some horrific oral function in order to escape the car. A lot of these things go underreported, and a lot of women allow themselves to hold the pain inside, and they don't communicate this trauma with people, so it doesn't allow the young women to understand the risks. And there are some young men who could be definitely victims of older men, okay? Especially with the bisexual movement and with other people, they may see the man as someone weaker, a little bit more naive, and they may try to do something to him as well. So even if you're a brother, they could jack you, your wallet, take, your stuff. You literally never know, okay? You really need to be wise. What's worse is when these young girls, 16, 15 years old, dress highly provocative, and they're getting in cars with dudes they don't know. Because they have this comfort of, in their mind, that a man will submit his will to hers because she has a pheromonal type of sexual energy that he's just going to be calm as a kitten and he'll never want to put his hand in the cookie jar. Okay? You have to be wise. You have to be wise. And this is why there is wisdom in really avoiding men who you don't need to be around. And pressuring your uncle, someone to give you a ride that you know. Not saying family members can't harm you as well, but that you seek out people whom you thoroughly know and understand their character. Okay? Be safe. Be safe. Okay? I really want you to focus on that. And I understand there's some liberal atheist feminists who will mock this and say, why are you telling this to the girls? It's not necessary. Oh, it's so rare. Don't listen to people who tell you to put your guard down. You have to be wise because there are a lot of crazy people in this world. Okay? There are lots of people who have no problem in taking what they want from a woman. No problem. They will not even flinch at the sounds of your crying. Okay? Cold-blooded. And there's even some women who will sit in the back seat and watch them do it to you and won't even care. Maybe they'll even film it, upload it to the dark web, and make money. So you need to be wise. Okay? There's lots of Pinterests and human trafficker women who watch countless girls get violated for money. And they don't care. Their hearts are not moved at your tears. So you must do the right thing and avoid those situations altogether. And if you find yourself where you slipped up and you messed up, how you escape those types of situations. And if you messed up, have the courage to call your mom, your dad, your sister, some responsible person to come and get you. Okay? And if you went out with your friends to eat pizza or something, right? And they say, oh, we're going to go so-and-so, you want to come with? And your mom and dad didn't give you permission for that. And you don't really know the driver. And you're going to be in the car with some people whom you don't really know. You don't really know if your friend's going to have their back if they say, hey, what's up with your friend there? You don't know. It doesn't mean that you get suspicious of everyone, but rather you are aware of possibilities that can occur in a crime-ridden environment where morality and righteousness is heavily censored, condemned, and where nonsense stuff is promoted artificially through media outlets in different wavelengths, different regions, different, modes of operations. Just please, please. Don't be one of those girls who thinks you can sneak out of your parents' house, get in a car with a dude you don't really know, and that every single time it's going to be safe, or that you can get high with them and they're going to give you a ride home and be safe, right? And they may take you somewhere and say, we're going to go to this party over here. And you're like, where? And you're this naive, beautiful girl who dressed inappropriately, and then they take you somewhere where you've never been before, and now you're in their paws. Now you're in their clutches. You need to be more responsible, resist temptation, resist shaitan, be proud to be moral, be proud to be virtuous, to seek refuge in Allah from all whispers of shaitan, and be formidable in the face of this sort of sexually liberated morons who are pushing you into very risky behavior and who really don't care about you, because if they did, they would not be grooming you, coaching you into behavior that can leave you mentally traumatized until the day you return to Allah. Okay? And just be aware that there are plenty of women. This bird is eating my plants. There are groomer women. There are definitely, women of other orientations who might be so cold-blooded that you'll be shocked that they might try something to do to you. Their friend might do something to you. Remember, evil isn't limited as much as you think it is. Okay? Evil comes in many faces, many expressions. I'm sure you know. But sometimes it just takes a big sister figure to remind you of what you already knew, right? But you need to hear these things direct and very frankly, because there's going to be opportunities in life where someone you love might be tempted, and where you realize the wisdom in what I'm telling you. And it might save your life, and it might save the life of your friend. Okay? Because plenty of girls are traumatized across the world consistently and often. Okay? And you gotta know what to do. And you gotta be brave. You gotta know how to escape. This is another reason why the Second Amendment is a blessing, because you're able to protect yourself with lethal force, and why a wise woman would always carry a tool of self-defense, and any man who tells a woman not to have a tool of self-defense and to blindly trust is doing, evil a favor. Okay? Because evil loves a weak, frail, disarmed victim. Evil sometimes doesn't want a struggle. It wants this sort of, very traumatic experience where fear is maximized and vampirized off of the person radiating it. Right? It's like the lion picking out the sick wildebeest. It can perceive that there is less of a fight. So you gotta be wise, be smart, and even if you don't have a lot of friends and you see your friends coaching you into behavior that is very risky, even if you gotta be alone in high school, right? You gotta be alone in junior high. It's okay. High school and junior high is crap anyways. Just learn the skills and get out. None of those people will matter later on in your life. Okay? So don't let them pressure you, to get popular by engaging in risky behavior. Stick to what is safe and have pride in putting your energy in better things and not engaging in behavior that allows evil to feed upon you. So keep that in mind, little doves, and be safe. To the brothers as well, you might get a crazy woman. You just never know. A crazy dude, you gotta be careful, man. You gotta be so careful now. There's so many people on drugs, so many people with untreated mental illness, a lot of perverted ideologies that are, traumatizing people, and filming it, and selling it, making money. Don't be a victim. Be strong. Be steadfast. Turn to Allah. And if you're doing your prayers and keeping your faith strong, Shaitan will have less of an ability to tempt you, inshallah. But as we know, Shaitan is very clever and might find another way to test you. But please understand that when you get in the car with a man, it is a situation where you need to be wise. You need to be aware. Very aware. And know where you're going, where you're headed, how you would get home. Memorize people's numbers in case you drop your phone in the car. Okay? Know where a police station is. Know who you're getting in the car with. Know what kind of car it is. And before you get in the car, snap a picture of the license plate real quick on the down low. Send it to your mom or your dad. Right? There's things you can do to stay safe. Okay? So be good, little ones. And even for older sisters, you legit just never know. And may Allah guide us all.